This must be how slightly toxic jungle plants smell like, especially the ones bursting with weird white juices. Welcome to Smellomania. This is quite an unusual perfume review channel where I analyze the smells and try to make some art out of my interpretations. Today has come. It's time for the fig. In my last video, I asked which perfumes I should analyze next, and quite a few people requested Diptyque, so I started with Philosykos, only the most popular fig fragrance ever. Before starting the review, I wanted to investigate the real thing, a ripe fig. Would you expect to experience such a smell from a fruit looking like this? Does the smell differ if it's not ripe yet? Philosykos, one of those timeless, legendary perfumes, which is standing strong up to this day. The name is a made-up word by the company, but it could be roughly translated from Greek as a friend of the fig tree. The perfume was created in the last century. Okay, that sounds too harsh. 1996 is the exact date, 25 years ago. And the smell is simply amazing, but we'll get to that very soon. The main notes are fig leaf, fig tree, green notes, fig itself, coconut, cedar, and other woody notes. Let's move to my initial impressions. The very first time I sprayed it on, Philosykos struck me as an extremely green fragrance. Only later, when the perfume started to bloom, I picked up some milky and soft hints. Overall, Philosykos is very natural smelling. I couldn't tell that it's something created in a lab. It's absolutely unisex and simply timeless. It didn't age a day during those 25 years. It's herbal and people may even call it simple, but it's just an iconic fig fragrance. Simple things are always the hardest to describe. But let's start somewhere. It's as if someone took a solid chunk of wet foliage, put it into a blender and soaked it all with whipped cream, and maybe, just maybe, a few bugs were hiding among the leaves and now got smushed into one. I have a very specific bug in mind, this European firebug. It has an unforgettable smell to it, and I'm picking some minuscule traces hiding in this fragrance, but only during the sharp beginning. Later, that buggy note dissipates very quickly. Now that I come to think of it, figs are very closely related to bugs, fig wasps to be precise. So maybe it's not a coincidence that this perfume is so simple, yet so rich with experiences, as it holds more to it than just a fig. It's that combination of green and milky that keeps me coming back for more. It's a bit like milk and green tea combo with a smidgen of sugar, except it's a lot more complex and captivating. And then it was all clear to me. What's green and milky at the same time? Those weird desert plants produce a strangest white goo when you break a leaf. In my imagination, this white goo could easily smell like Philosykos, a milky, toxic plant. I then sketched a few options for my final piece and decided to take this toxic plant to the next level. Philosykos is a perfectly unisex fragrance. I'd rather say that it's more of a smell on its own, an experience to behold, than just a perfume. If you'd go to your local niche perfume store and asked for a fig fragrance, I guarantee that you would be shown this masterpiece. It does smell like a milky, smooth fig, and I knew the notes even before testing the perfume, so it was a bit difficult to force myself to forget all of that. But with the help of my family member, I managed to erase that information from my head and to look at Philosykos from a fresh angle. So what did I draw? A wild jungle chase, wet grass, damp air, and an accidentally broken leaf. A leaf of some unknown jungle plant, which must be highly toxic. A white creamy liquid started pouring from the severed end, slowly drying in the sun and emitting a slightly sweet aroma. It's fresh and milky, but makes your head dizzy. You better run. Thank you so much for watching, and see you on the other one. The next week I'll be analyzing one more legendary creation by Diptyque. Bye!